Let me teach you how to recruit, hire, and train a world-class team with inside your gym. Look, if you want to hit $100,000 per month or more in your gym, you have to have a really, really incredible team. You have to be able to have the systems to recruit, train, and retain your all-star members within your team to be able to scale. Look, there's many things you can do it alone in life. You can do it just by yourself. Hitting a gym that does $100,000 per month or more in revenue, you can't actually do that by yourself. And when we're thinking about a team, guys, as you'll kind of see if you're watching the video, I've got Michael Jordan behind me. Now, when I kind of think about like building teams and things like that in any department, especially with the gyms that I do consulting with, I'm really thinking about actually building a sporting team. Okay. You want your sporting team to be able to work together. And so if we think about the Chicago Bulls, for example, so obviously you had a super all-star in Michael Jordan. Then you had Scottie Pippen, who's really good at defense. You had to have that Dennis Rodman, right? Really good at rebounding. Okay, really good vibes to have around the team. You had Steve Kerr who could hit threes, and we could go on and on and on and on. Now, there was greatness in that team, obviously, with Michael Jordan, but he wouldn't have won 6 titles without an incredible team. And so, if you really like sport, think about the amazing teams, whether it's like Manchester United from the 90s, or, maybe the All Blacks have a really good team, or I really like the Brisbane Broncos, or could even go the Golden State Warriors. Like they had all these team environments, okay, within there to be able to achieve greatness. But let's dive into what you need to do to build, recruit, and keep an all-star team. Okay. Off the back of this, guys, I promise you, you're going to have a playbook on how you can build a world-class team, what you can do to be able to hit over $100,000 per month. I obviously was able to do that in my own businesses. Okay. I was able to do that in my gyms. I was able to do that in my online business. But a lot of these things I'm actually going to share with you are from the gym owners that have come to me to hit $100,000 per month, or quite a few of them have come to me doing over 100,000, want to go to 200, 300,000 per month and things like that. Okay, now the first thing, guys, is you have to be really, really clear on your gym's like culture, on your mission, and on your values, what you actually stand for. And this took me so long to actually grasp in my head for many, many years. Okay, because if you don't get this right, and if you don't have your culture, your mission, and your value set, you actually won't really know what a perfect team member is for your business. Okay, and you really want to spend a lot of time thinking about this. Okay, what does your gym actually stand for? And when you kind of start to, think about this a little bit deeper, and you actually can't do it in an afternoon. Okay, it took us like 2 or 3 months, and we had to have our gym that was actually successful first because when we're doing like 50, 60,000 a month, you're like, okay, like what do we stand for? Like, what's our mission? Where are we heading? What are the values, okay, that we want to live by, both with our clients and also with us at the time was as owners, and what we want our staff to live by? Because like when you're thinking about your values, that's actually what you start to coach people from if they step in or step out of line. Be like, hey, this is one of our values, right? This is what we stand for. This happened. Here's why, we need to do X, Y, Z to kind of move on. And one of the things, guys, when you're building a business that does over $100,000 per month, if we just talk about values, you have to live by those values every single day. You can't be someone that, manages people on the values and you're not actually living by them. It's incredibly, incredibly important that you get this right. But as you're kind of progressing along and you're getting these amazing staff members and you're growing, okay, you really just want to make sure that you have a super positive work environment, okay? You really want to highlight your team achievements. An example for this is there's this company in Australia called Vision Personal Training. Love them, hate them, whatever. Amazing brand. They're very, very good at staff recruitment, retention. Is they do this really cool thing on a few of their businesses, social media each week, where it's like staff member of the week, staff member of the month, and things like that, which is really cool. And so when you're kind of recognizing team achievements, you've got public recognition, could be posting on socials, could be sharing about it, someone doing really well in your weekly team meeting. And then you've obviously got private recognition, having a conversation, sending a nice text, voice message. Okay, even like handwritten cards and stuff are great, but you really want to recognize your team's achievements. Okay, but then also have a positive work environment. You are not going to have a really world-class team who absolutely love working with you if they don't actually like coming to work. And that's where you're going to have to manage different personalities. There's going to be different things that kind of pop up along the way. Okay, but the easiest way to think about it, okay, is when your staff are coming to work, are they excited to come into the work? Are they excited for who they work with? Are they excited about what they're helping people achieve? Okay, and you'll start to create this really positive environment, okay, but guys, you do have to spend time actually working on these things. Okay. And then we want to develop our staff. Okay. If you want to work with a high performer, if you want to have an all-star in your business, that an all-star doesn't just rest on their laurels, okay, and is not improving every single month, every single year. So you're going to have to develop these individuals. You're going to have to make them better coaches, better leaders, okay, and really develop and harness their skills because that's really what an all-star does. An all-star staff member wants to get better and wants to improve. So you have to encompass this with inside your business. And some things that worked well for us and other people, and everyone does it a little bit different, but it's all kind of the same, is might have like a weekly or fortnightly staff development, session that you can do with your team. Quite often there's a quarterly or like bi-yearly event, okay, where you're looking at 4 to 8 hours together, get everyone, you talk about your vision, your mission, your values, education, sharing wins, things like that. That's an internal event. And then often you'll have external events as well. For the really bigger businesses, once you get there, you'll have internal team who do these like trainings and things like that. Okay, but of course we have to talk about money. Okay, now guys, if you have a really world-class staff member, okay, you're gonna have to give them attractive salaries. You're gonna have to give them bonuses. You're gonna have to give them cool benefits. Like one of the gyms I was talking to just a couple of days ago was on Tuesday. It's Thursday here at the moment. Is their staff members get free massage once a month, free chiro once a month, free chiro like back adjustments. They get ice baths and also cryogenic chamber. So they aligned with a company. This is quite a big business. This business does about $130,000 a month in revenue. So it's like a cool benefit, right, for someone who is working at that gym. Okay. And there can be a lot of different things. Like I know one of the things we had at gyms, there was like a local like apparel place where they would get like really big discounts from that. And just like little benefits along the way is like kind of small, but actually really big, where you're like, oh, this is actually like kind of, pretty cool that they get to work for you. That is different from the other gyms down the road because, guys, business is competitive, right? And if you're looking at a staff member, right, we've got a staff member in there, and if you're like, okay, it would really suck if this person went and worked for a competitor down the road. It would be an absolute asset for that business. Is just make sure you kind of treat them accordingly, okay? And as I kind of mentioned, we're going to talk about this a lot, guys. Just give them the ability to continue their education and get better. Okay. Now, when we talk about who we actually hire, right? Because when you let someone into your community, okay, you have to be really, really, really focused on getting the right person. And that's where you have to understand your vision, your values, your mission, right? Where you are heading with inside this business because you want to attract the right people. You can't let a cancer into your team. And so your recruitment process shouldn't be fast. It shouldn't be like super rapid. It should take time. It should be very detailed to make sure that you get the right individual in who's passionate about fitness and is aligned with your gym. That is incredibly important. Don't rush this. Okay. If you rush the hiring process, right, the chances of you hiring a world-class staff member who's going to fit in your culture and things like that just drops like quite considerably, I can sure you imagine. Now, as you're scaling towards $100,000 a month, 150, $200,000 a month in your gym, that's great. Okay, really, really simple way that worked for a client recently to be able to get new staff because it's going to be hard to recruit and grow your team as you're scaling is you can offer just basic like referrals. If someone like in your team refers a friend, okay, or someone that they know, you can essentially give them cash bonuses and things like that, which can work really well, especially in this business in particular. The owner isn't the owner isn't on the floor or doing any training or anything, but this individual, he would send his coaches to external courses in the area. And so they would meet other coaches who are growing and developing, and they would meet them at High Rocks and all these different stuff, right? And so he would actually get quite a few of his new staff that he needed as he's scaling from actually his current team referring people that they know, which, hiring staff and, going through all the advertising platforms and all the RTOs and things like that is great. But you really want to make sure that you're looking to get really diverse ways that you can actually attract talent because sometimes like in Australia Seek doesn't work or your alignment with Fitness Australia doesn't work or whatever, and getting those referrals can be absolute gold. And this individual is actually getting really 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 high level talent from that because his coaches are making friends at development education courses and bringing them into his gym, and they're actually coming from other businesses, which is just like great for him. He's growing rapidly. Actually, a gym that I worked with in New Zealand, they're in Christchurch, is they were able to recruit staff. Is This guy was a really good powerlifting coach, really good strength and conditioning coach, the owner of the facility. And what he would actually do every quarter is he would run in-house workshops for personal trainers. So he would run upskilling for people in the Christchurch area for coaches who market it, things like that. And so then he would get coaches coming into his gym where he is upskilling that coach when the other gym isn't. And then he would get really, really high level talent from that as well. So, you've got your referrals, you've also got your in-house workshops, which he actually loved doing because look, he really loved doing, powerlifting, and he's a coach, right? This dude just loves coaching, done it his whole life. And so when you can bring like in-house workshops for your staff, but also they can bring people from the area, it's just another softer way to be able to get in front of people who potentially might work for you down the line. Because like a little bit like an NBA, NFL free agency, like it is competitive to get staff. If you can get the best staff, if you can get Kevin Durant from Oklahoma City Thunder and bring him to the Warriors to win what they win like 3 titles in a row, you're going to do that every day of the week. You're always looking to get in front of that top talent. And to be honest, guys, you need to have a ruthless edge in you. All the guys that I work with doing over 100K a month, they're the most amazing, beautiful people ever. But if they talk to someone, a staff member at another gym, and they're not happy, they're going to take that individual all day long because they know how valuable it is to their company and they know how valuable it is to the clients that they do help. But when we get these staff members on, okay, we want to just make sure, guys, you have to have a comprehensive onboarding and you've got to be reviewing this. You've got to be improving it because as you start to scale above that 100K a month, you're going to be onboarding people consistently and you're going to have someone doing the onboarding for you at some stage. So you just want to make sure it's structured, okay? 12 to 16 weeks is like a pretty good time frame. Okay, you can have education portals that they can watch in their own time, mix of like in-person, kind of work to be able to work through the systems and training, and a lot of mentorship. You want to get that right. If you get the first 12 weeks right when someone starts with you guys, it's going to make the rest of their employment with you so much easier because you can educate them, you can set the standards, you can give them everything they need to be a perfect employee for you. Okay. And when we talk about investing in education, okay, I'll share with you just a couple of ways that have worked well, just so you can have some live examples. So, in the investing in the weekly or bi-weekly internal education, so at the start, the owners often do that. So it's not really too much an investment apart from time. And then in time, you'll have an internal, training manager, whatever you want to call it, PT manager, education manager, whatever, who will then run those trainings. So that obviously becomes an expense, but the more money you can spend on your staff, okay, if they're happy, they're growing, is obviously always absolutely incredible. Then you've got your events like internal, okay, which is usually your quarterly, annually, by yearly events. They're usually external, so there is an expense. You've got food, you've got planning, you've got their time away from work, things like that. Okay, and then you want to have a look at, is there any courses, okay, that they can do either online or in person, okay, to be able to make them the very best coaches in the nation. So if you're in Australia, right, the good goal to have when you think about it, when you wake up and go, are my coaches the best coaches in Australia? Okay, now we don't know whether they're the best or not. We don't know every other gym in Australia. We don't, right? But if you have that belief and that conviction, and your sales team have that belief and conviction, and your admin team are the best, your sales team are the best, your coaches are the best, your managers are the best, and maybe you're a little bit delusional about it, only good stuff's going to happen there because for you to get to that level, that you have trained, you've trained yourself, you've put in the time, you've educated your team. And when you can start to do those things and be really, really, really confident, guys, your life just becomes so much easier and your business will grow rapidly. Okay, once we've done that, guys, with your team, guys, just make sure you set goals and expectations. Okay, it's really important that your team have KPIs, key performance indicators. What are those 3 to 5 things that are really important for them to do for the company for us to hit our goal on where we're heading? Okay, you really want to define these. You want to coach them on why these are important. Obviously, give them all the training, all the support they need to do to hit their KPIs. Okay, and we obviously need to give them regular feedback. And that's where we'll talk a little bit about your one-on-one communication with your team and things like that. Okay, but high performers, they want a target. They want somewhere that they are heading and they want to know when they're winning or losing. That is what a high performer is. A high performer and someone who's an all-star in your business doesn't hide. Okay, they want numbers, they want metrics, they want to see improvement, they are driven. Think Michael Jordan, for example. Guys are an absolute bloody lunatic. Okay. Now, when we talk a little bit deeper about fostering this culture, okay, is a few things that have worked well for myself and other people. Okay. Now, birthdays, really important. Okay. You can get your team together on someone's birthday. Okay. It can be as simple as like a lunch, it can be like a birthday workout together. Definitely sending them. We used to like a lot of handwritten cards, really touch people, okay, on those milestones, birthdays, Christmas, okay. And you can give people like standardized gifts. So, what we mean by standardized is with your staff, you might go, look, on everyone's birthday, we have a $250 blank check to give them a gift. And then we will get them a customized gift at no more than $250 or whatever your number is. Okay. But then we also want to celebrate their achievements with you. Okay. And we want to really, really focus on this if you want to have a world-class team, like when they've been with you for 1 year, when they've been with you for 2 years, when they're starting to improve in their role and they're getting really, really amazing results. And, one of the really, really like big values that can work really, really well for you to think about as a leader is like, celebrate wins no matter how big or small. Okay. And that's where you can give them shout outs privately. You can give them publicly. Maybe you can give them bonuses. And also, as well, like when you're recognizing and trying to bring your team together, don't discount just basic team outings, beers and banter, doing workouts together and things like that. Essentially, the closer that you want your team within reason, the more time that you guys can spend together, okay, where you're getting to know each other, you're sharing, it's outside of the four walls of the gym, okay, the tighter that your team is going to be. But when we have an all-star staff member, right, you've got a beast, right? You've got a killer, someone that you really, really want to keep in your business. You can't work them like a dog, guys, right? They've got to have a reasonable work-life balance. Okay. You need to accommodate to their lifestyle and their needs. You can't just like hammer them into the ground because they're going to quit. They're going to go to another fitness business. They're going to leave. You need to understand that if you want to keep someone for the long term, right? You have to give them a lifestyle that they can do for the long term and they see their life and they see their vision and they're happy. It's like they can't just work 5 mornings a week, right? They need to have mornings off, okay? They need to be mindful of their double shifts. You need to be able to adjust with them from time to time. You want to give them an amazing work-life balance, okay, where they're performing at work, but they can see themselves doing this for a very, very long time to come. And then obviously as your team are with you, just recognize loyalty, guys. You'll have your promotion structures. They'll start from here. They can go to here, they'll get their raises. Okay. Obviously they get a lot of their development opportunities, but you really want to make sure those people that have been with you for a long time are getting that growth. They're getting recognized and they're getting rewarded along the way. Highly recommend doing one-on-ones with your team. Okay. Every gym I work with who does over 100K a month, they're all doing one-on-ones with the people in their business. That's one-on-one meetings. And it's a really basic place to reflect, right? How's work been going? Get to know them on a personal level, where they're heading. They have any travel plans? How's things with their partner? How's their training going? It's a relationship. We'll talk about rapport in that. And then also to check in on their KPIs, gather feedback, make sure everything's going well, really just to touch base and care about this individual. Okay. Push them, right, to make sure that they're doing what they need to do to drive the company in the right direction. And it is absolutely incredible, right, for staff retention. Okay, absolutely incredible to connect with them, to drive them, to push them, to give them feedback, both positive and negative, right, is very, 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 right, integral to be able to have a gym that does over $100,000 per month. Okay, and you must give them a career advancement. Okay, there must be somewhere that they can go in this business. Okay, if they have growth, they want to go from like coach to head coach to manager to program director to operations manager, whatever it is. Not saying you're just going to give them that role. They have to earn it. Don't just give someone a role as a manager because they've been there for 3 years and you think they might be the best fit. That's not what gym owners do. We do 100K a month. But they can have that advancement where it's like, hey, if you do this and you do this really well, here's what happens. Okay, now if you want to coach, you want to be a manager, here's what you actually need to do. You're a coach, right? But here's what a manager actually does. You need to develop those skills. Probably take like 6 to 12 months, but here's what we can do. And so you can develop them through the ranks, but do not just give someone a role because they've been around for ages. So many gym owners make mistakes doing that, and it's just simply because they are incredibly lazy. When we're talking about our culture, right, you really just want to make sure that you have a very basic calendar for you and for your team. And that would include like your events that you're doing. You want to try and be planning a year ahead because you can't expect your team to be at everything if you're giving them like a week notice. Okay, at least a quarter. So that's where you'd have your team bonding events, your education, whatever it might be. And once you have that schedule, guys, you want to stick to it because if you chop and change that schedule, when you have a team, like some of the guys we work with have like 40 staff in their gyms. When you start to change those times, you've then got to navigate times like 30 other people and it becomes a shit show. So when you kind of decide on this, keep your times, keep your calendar, keep your schedule to be able to build that an amazing internal culture. And then, like any plan, guys, like we've covered a lot of things. Like, literally, you probably just downloaded over $50 million in staff education, recruitment strategies that I've learned myself and that my team, the team that I work with doing over 100K a month have done. Like, you've just learned some of the tips from some of the most amazing fitness business owners and gym owners in the world. But you're going to have to turn this into a plan and you're going to have to adjust regularly. Okay. You're going to have to adjust. You're going to have to make it work perfectly for you. There might be times where you get surveys from your staff, how they're doing. You want to, obviously, if a staff member leaves, interview them, try to get as much honest information as you can. And just always give yourself like room for improvement because you can always get better. Okay. But if you want to build this world-class team, okay, the last thing that I want to leave you with is this is not easy. Building a world-class team is not easy. Okay, you need to work on it. You need to be focused. You need to be disciplined. Okay, you need to be constantly not just focusing on the marketing and sales side of your business. Okay, because to get to 100K a month, that should be dialed in anyway. Okay, but spending time on this. Okay, how well you can present in your meetings, how structured you are, how planned you are, how you can deal, with obstacles and staffing issues and people being away, your communication, all these different skills you have to learn as a manager and a leader, okay, to be able to build this world-class team within your business. And I hope you guys got a little bit of value from today. If you do have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to me anytime. If not, guys, I'll see you on the next training. Bye bye.